Hello and welcome back to Sea Red UK, where quite simply it's Chicago Bulls thing. This podcast is part of the Fans First Sports Network, so wherever you're listening, rate, review, subscribe. It helps us out and ensures you don't miss another episode. And if you're watching on YouTube, give us the thumbs up, hit the bell, and leave us some comments down below. I'm Matt, and as usual, joined by Neill. How are we doing, Neill?
I'm very well, Matthew. How are you?
Yeah, not good. But we will go into that. I've already told you why, but yeah.
Bit of a rough day by all accounts.
Yeah, all I'll say is London. I'm parked alongside the Thames at the minute, so yeah. But anyway, enough about that. The therapy session is needed today. We just wanted to give it this bit. We're trying to sort of finish the off season and start building towards this next season now, aren't we?
Yeah.
So obviously one part that we wanted to finish is, well, a bit of an update on Sea Red UK, because quite a lot's happened. As we said at the start of the off season, we weren't going anywhere. We were going to keep dropping episodes. We were going to keep working away behind the scenes, basically try and build the brand that we've created. And in doing that, obviously we've dropped the website, seareduk.com, which is still out there. Not a lot put on there at the minute. Obviously not a lot to write about, but there is some pieces due. Then obviously we went onto YouTube, which, if you're watching on YouTube, this is all new. And we've actually got a new background for today's version. So check that out if you're only on the audio. Then obviously we joined the network, as we said at the start, the Fans First Sports Network. Doesn't affect how you listen in any sort of way, but it benefits us in terms of obviously the creative tools that we've now got, and a bit of support and a bit of sort of help from the network, basically, and potential to link up with other podcasts.
Yeah.
Then, as we announced, was it last week, the partnership with USA Sports. They're offering us 15% off at the minute. The partnership that we've got going with them, and that was just basically to try and give back a little bit to people who are following us, listening to us, whatever you want to do. Obviously we're very, very thankful to USA Sports for it. It's been pretty easy to get set up as well. A few emails and stuff like that. And the last one, kind of mentioned it a little bit last week, that we were sort of waiting for something to come through. And it's, as Neill's just put up in the top corner, Andy's Man Club. And obviously I've got it on my t-shirt. Now, Andy's Man Club is basically a charity that we want to raise awareness for. For those that don't know, obviously it's a charity set up. They have groups where men can go and talk, because, as we've mentioned before on this podcast, men don't talk. And that's what Andy's Man Club is all about. Now, they have meetings every Monday, 7 p.m. till 9 p.m. And it's apart from bank holidays. And it's basically just go and a cup of tea, biscuits, and you just chat. There's a format to it. It's not medical in any way. It's not recorded in any way. And if you can't attend these groups, they do have an online one. I've actually been to them, so I can testify to it. And it's good. And we just wanted to use the platform we've got basically to raise awareness for a charity. We're not making any money from it in any way, shape or form. It's just basically I'm promoting it personally in my own time as well. Obviously, like I say, I attend it, and it's just basically put it out there for people to see. At some point, we may look to help raise money for them, but that's something further down the line. Like I say, we're constantly working away behind the scenes. So, as Neill's got going across the bottom, their hashtag is it's okay to talk. So if anyone wants any sort of advice on it, they do have obviously the website and his man club. They're on all the socials, and if you don't want to contact them, feel free to contact me, and I'll put you in the right direction. And yeah, that's pretty much where we're at with Sea Red UK. That's our off season. We haven't really had one, have we? We haven't stopped.
No.
So I don't know if there's anything you want to throw in there in case I've missed anything.
I don't think you've missed anything
explain
at
how
all.
busy you've been.
Yeah, we, like you say, we keep going behind the scenes, very much driven by yourself. And it's just, I think it's such a great thing to be involved with. Men's mental health is still kind of a taboo subject, and it shouldn't be. It should be much more open and out there. And we've been brought up with this belief that guys have to suck it up and guys have to just get on with it. And that's just not the case at all. I mean, it doesn't matter what gender you are. It doesn't matter what background you have. If you've got issues, talking about it does help. And that's exactly what Andy's Man Club tries to provide.
Yeah. I mean, one thing I didn't say is they have 142 locations, I think, throughout England, Wales and Scotland. And all you have to do is go on the website and find postcode in, and it'll tell you where the closest club is. Like I say, Mondays 7 p.m. till 9 p.m. Yeah, obviously, like you say, men don't talk, but that's something we're trying to help promote, basically. Spoke about it before briefly on here. It's sort of our own sort of struggles with it at times and stuff like that. And the reason why, obviously, we're highlighting men is because predominantly our listeners are male. Obviously, we're both male. And I work in very, very male, sort of heavy sort of workplaces, basically. So everyone I deal with on a day-to-day basis is male, and I kind of see it firsthand as well when somebody is struggling. So yeah, that's it. That's why we chose Andy's Man Club. That's what we've been up to through the summer. I mean, you've had your little holidays as well.
Yeah,
so it hasn't been all work. You know what I say?
I said that's good for you too, to have a holiday and have a break. It's good for the mental health.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't get many holidays. I don't live a lavish lifestyle like you.
Yeah, I knew the digs would.
But yeah, that's where we're at with Sea Red UK, and obviously I'll throw it to you to speak about the network or highlight the network.
Yeah, as Matt mentioned, Fans First Sports Network is what's the driving force behind us now. We're part of that network and have been now for a few weeks. They're great to work with. They've provided us with different platforms that we didn't have previously. So it's really kind of upped our game a little bit, particularly on the YouTube channel. And they are running a fantastic competition I spoke about in the last pod. I'm going to go over it again. For any sports fans out there, it is worth listening to, particularly if you are stateside and if you like American football. If you are a fan of an NFL team, would you love to attend your favorite team's week 1 game? Well, you could be in luck. Fans First Sports Network is giving away 4 free tickets to the week 1 NFL game of your choice. That's with a value of up to $5,000. The rules to enter are very, very simple. Go to contestfansfirstsports.com and fill out the appropriate information. That's it. Once you've done that, you've been officially registered to win the 4 free tickets to any week 1 NFL game. What are you waiting for? Go enter for your shot at seeing your favorite team in action. This contest closes on September 4th. So get in there, get your entry in, and who knows, you might just get lucky.
Absolutely. If I was in America, I'm not even a football fan, but I'd definitely be entering. So, right, on to the main part of this episode, and we are actually going to talk some Bulls. Like I say, we're basically trying to finish off the off-season talk at the minute, aren't we?
Yeah.
And last week, ESPN dropped their rankings, or their predictions on the rankings, win-loss for the East. And as Neill's got going across the bottom, they've got Bulls to be the 11th seed. Now, I don't know if anybody's seen the article, heard about it already, read it, whatever. I know other podcasters have spoke about it, but we're just going to give our opinion on it.
Mm-hmm.
So for those that haven't seen it, they've obviously broken it down into win-losses for the East. And as I said, they've got Bulls finishing 11th. So I'll go down the rankings and the sort of win-losses, what they're going to have for the said team. And then we'll say why we disagree with it, because I'm sure you disagree with it just as much as I do. They've got Celtics to top the East with 55 and 27. Then they've got Bucks 54-28, Cavs 50-32, 76ers 47-35. So they're obviously the top four.
Mm-hmm.
And then finishing off the playoffs, they've got Heat and Knicks both on 46 and 36. Then the play-in teams, they've got Hawks 41-41, Nets 39-43, Pacers 38-44, Magic 38-44. And then this is where Bulls come in at 11 with 37-45. Below them, Raptors 36-46, Hornets 30-52, Pistons 26-56, and then rounding it off, Wizards 24-58. So, before we talk about Bulls, what do you make of how they've got the rest of the East looking?
Okay, I don't terribly disagree with the top three. I guess Sixers have to go into fourth then as well, even though they're a bit of an uncertainty in my mind. We still really don't know what's happening with Harden, and who knows what they're going to look like, to be honest. In regards to the Miami Heat and the New York Knicks, the fact that they have them tied at an equal split of 46 and 36, I guess, you could argue for them being flipped around at any point with a game or so in between that. I don't terribly disagree with it. I think Miami Heat are a little bit overrated at the minute, just purely because they got as far as they did last season. As for the regular season, they don't really lock in. Well, Jimmy certainly doesn't lock in for the regular season too much. They don't like to put on too much of a show for their fans. I don't know why the fans keep going. But they're a playoff team. Once they get to the playoffs, they do their thing, and they proved that last year. I don't know about the Knicks, though. I wouldn't be drastically surprised if the wheels start to fall off a little bit for the Knicks this season. But it's hard to kind of tell. As for the rest of them, well, I mean, there's very little, isn't there, between the Hawks all the way down as far as the Raptors. They're all pretty closely bunched up. There's only a handful of games between all of them, especially with the Pacers and the Magic on equal peggings. Personally, I think the Pacers are going to impress people this year, and I think the Pacers could quite easily slide up that table a couple of places, to be honest with you. And I won't get into the Bulls and lower just yet.
Yeah. I mean, for me, Celtics, they've been the team for the last 2 years now, really, aren't they, in the East? Have they improved by bringing in Porzingis?
Depends on if he stays healthy.
Personally, I don't think they have.
I think losing Marcus Smart,
which is already not
going to damage them. And yeah, he's already injured.
Yeah. And I think obviously having sort of 2 long seasons with no success, eventually it's all going to, something's got to give in that team, hasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
They started getting on Jalen Brown's back, didn't they? So to me, Celtics, they're not the runaway sort of leaders like ESPN have got. And then I don't think Bucks, we've already seen the things now of Giannis saying that if there's no success, he doesn't know if he's going to sign another extension.
Mm-hmm.
They've not improved in any sort of way either, have they? Like playing wise, they brought back Chris Middleton. Where's he been for the last 2 years? He's not. I don't see him as a threat. If it wasn't for Giannis, Bucks would be nowhere. And obviously, Cavs third. Yeah, I think the wheels fell off a little bit with Cavs towards the end of the year, didn't it?
It did.
Year.
Yeah.
All right, they've brought in Max Strus, which, solid bench player for him. He's going to put up points when he turns up.
So give him a bit more firepower, though.
Yeah. I mean, I like Cavs' core, with obviously Mitchell, Garland, Jarrett Allen. What's the guy called? The four, Mobley in it.
Evan Mobley. Yeah.
So I do like their core, but I think where they sort of fall down slightly is the sort of depth. I don't think they're that strong. If Allen goes down with an injury, for example, who's stepping up to replace him? But yeah, I can kind of agree with them being third. 76ers, God knows what's going on there. If Harden decides he's wearing his fat suit to start, then they're screwed out of it because Embiid's not going to be healthy all season either. MVP, Joel Embiid. Yeah, but if they turn it on, then obviously they will. They're more than capable of being fourth, as we've seen. And like you say, this is where it starts getting interesting for me. Now, between Heat and Bulls, obviously 5th and 11th, they've put a quick maths 9-game difference.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that's just ridiculous. Like I said, I don't want to touch too much on Bulls just yet, but that's just ridiculous considering how close we ran Heat last year. They've got worse, we've improved. So I just don't get how there's that much of a gap. Knicks, like you said, I think the wheels are due to fall off. Yeah. I know, right, they brought in, what's his name, Josh Hart. Does he really improve them that much? It's Jalen Brunson in it. He's sort of leading that team now.
Yeah.
And there's only so many minutes the players can play before Tibbs destroys them, isn't there? So
burnout.
I think that's what's going to end up coming. So I mean, for me, anywhere between Heat and bottom of the play-in where they've got it, even as far down as Raptors, to me, Bulls have improved more than any of them teams. The teams that they've got in the play-in, Hawks. All right, Hawks are going to be there, but to me, they haven't improved. They brought in Patty Mills and got rid of Collins and brought in. Did they bring in Rudy Gay for Collins?
Rudy Gay.
They've got them going. Well, been a 500 team. Do you know what I mean? So, but if you look back, Bulls actually ended up finishing better than Hawks. All right, they didn't in the standings, but they went further than them in the play-in. So, Nets, God knows what's going on there. Why people remain high on Nets, I don't know. Like Cam Johnson, Mikal Bridges, 2 good players. Can they carry a franchise though? Because who else have Nets got? Ben Simmons.
Ben Simmons, if he decides to show up.
If he turns up. Yeah. And then it's these two for me, Pacers and Magic. I don't know why people are so high on them. Everyone's saying Pacers had a brilliant off-season. What did they do? They brought in, was it Bruce Brown?
Yeah.
A role player from Nuggets. All right, he's got his ring. He doesn't change a franchise, though, does he? All right, they've still got Halliburton, Turner, Mathurin, them sort of players. But at the end of the day, Bruce Brown, to me, doesn't improve that team more than the Bulls have improved. And then Magic, God knows, good young core, ready to take that step, but all it takes is an injury to one of them, and that's it. They're screwed.
Mhm.
To me, I don't think they've got a leader on the team in any sort of way to guide that young core. So they will upset a few teams, I'm sure, but I just can't see them finishing above Bulls. And then on to Bulls. We've got them 37-45, and that's obviously 3 wins less than what we got last year. Yet we've actually improved on paper. Yeah, we're still yet to see it. The argument is we've kept that same core: DeRozan, Vooch, and Zach. But for me, them 3 players are not going to finish in 11th. They're not going to allow Bulls to finish 11th. We've added Torrey Craig, Javon Carter. And to me, the problem last year was that gap between the big 3, medium 3, whatever you want to call them, and that young core. To me, the players in between just weren't. Well, there was nobody. Andre Drummond that didn't get played, Goran Dragic that left. So by having Javon Carter and Torrey Craig in the middle, bridging that gap, and another breakout year from Kobe, hopefully from P. Will, I can't see how we're going to lose three more games from what we did last year. When they say the argument is we've kept that core last year got us 40 wins. So how does that core now drop to 37 wins? I can't get my head around that bit.
The argument they're going to make is that, well, the rest of the East has got better, but I don't think the East has got drastically better around them to that point.
No, and that's what I mean. Like them teams that they've got above them, apart from the top 4, Heat, Knicks, Hawks, Nets, Pacers, Magic. Like you said, they're not drastically better. Have they improved at all? Do you know what I mean? They've got draft picks in, obviously Pacers and Magic. They're not guaranteed to do anything, are they? Like I said, Bruce Brown going to Pacers. To me, that doesn't move the needle in any sort of way. He's not somebody I'm particularly worried about us playing against. Knicks, all right, you can say they've improved, but as we just said, the wheels are about to fall off or due to fall off. Nets, I mean, how big did they fall off last year after trading everyone away? The fall off was massive, and they still had Bridges and Johnson then. So, I mean, obviously we're not giving our predictions just yet. Anyway, we're going to do that further down the line on a different episode. Obviously, the teams below Bulls, Raptors, Hornets, Pistons, Wizards. Yeah, Raptors have got worse. Obviously, we pushed them all the way last year and then beat them in the play-in. Hornets are a complete mess. I actually like Pistons. I like the look of their team. And I think, they're no different to Magic, really. A young core with, I mean, obviously they've got a new coach as well now, haven't they?
Yeah.
So, and I think Pistons turned it around a little bit at the end of last year and they've got Cade Cunningham to come back as well.
Exactly, yeah.
So
I really like Jaden Ivey too. I think he's going to be a great player for them.
And obviously Wizards are probably more a mess than Hornets are, aren't they? They've tried to blow it up and they've blown it up and not done anything since. So yeah. I don't. To be fair, I don't expect anything different from ESPN. We've mentioned it before. It's why we don't get the national games. It was a 15-man panel or something, wasn't it, that's put these predictions out. Don't know who they are. Don't really care, to be honest. Hopefully, the sort of disrespect that they constantly show Bulls is fuel to, especially for someone like DeRozan and Zach. But yeah, to me, I just can't see where they've got Bulls losing another 3 games, because a lot of the games we lost last year were very close as well, weren't they? A couple of buzzer beaters.
Yeah.
And if, like I say, we can just bridge that gap between starters and the young core, basically, then to me that's more wins. That's not losses. That's wins.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean.
And like you mentioned there about the clutch games, I believe 2 seasons ago we were 3rd in clutch wins, and last season we dropped to 16th, I think it was, in clutch wins. And even if we just meet somewhere in the middle, that's a handful of wins more than we had last year straight away.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, the teams from sort of like Hawks upwards, bar Cavs, we give a good run for the money last year.
Mm.
It was the teams around like Pacers, Magic, we lost to Hornets as well, didn't we? Raptors. They were the games we were dropping, and they were the close ones. Jalen Suggs with that buzzer beater, Halliburton with a buzzer beater. To me, we're a better team than Pacers are Magic. We can definitely finish above them. And they're the teams we need to be looking at getting them extra wins. You know, you think we had 40 wins last year. We lost. Do we lose 3 to Pacers and was it 2 or 3 to Magic?
Yeah.
If you can turn them games around, because we're more than capable, then you're up the 45 area. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's hopefully if we can carry on the team above us as well. But you know, like I say, don't expect anything different from ESPN. I mean, I don't know if you've got anything else on it.
No, like I suppose I can move on. I hadn't covered the the lower end, but I've kind of joined into what you were saying there. Really, the Bulls, I think, have been a little hard done by there. You know, it's a swing of what, 8 games? Is it swing 6, 7? Anyway, it's a big swing. It's too much of a swing for a team that got better. Theoretically, it's the same core, and they've increased their firepower. They've increased their defensive toughness in Javon Carter and Torrey Craig. I don't see how it gets weaker. Okay, it may have been a bit of a falsehood that we were a top 5 team in defense ratings at the end of the season last year, but you've added defensive prowess in those 2 players. Even if you drop a couple of places, you're not going to slide drastically down the defensive rankings. It's not going to happen, and hopefully the firepower will help. Players that are already there will get better, in the likes of Kobe White, Patrick Williams, and I'm not expecting them to become world beaters overnight. You know, you got to be realistic too, but I certainly don't see them being outside of the playoffs, or certainly the play-in.
Yeah, it's, you know, to me that it is just too much of a fall off from last year, what they're predicting. Especially when you think you've got DeMar coming in on the contract year. You know, Zach's hopefully coming in fully healthy. Kobe's, you know, he's sorted now. He had a good year last year. Surely he's only going to get better. You know, to me, there's just too many players on the team that are going to make improvements as well. And yeah. So yeah, I don't know if you've got anything else now on it.
No, I'm done.
So yeah, as we announced at the start, we have this partnership with USA Sports. USA Sports is a UK-based sports merchandise retailer. They cover the NBA, NHL, NFL, MLB, as well as Formula One. From hats to hoodies, there's something for fans from everywhere. Chicago Bulls to Red Bull and everywhere in between. Check them out on all the socials and at usasports.co.uk. And for 15% off, enter the code CREDUK at checkout. That's CREDUK for 15% off. So yeah, something we're going to just bring in now until the sort of start of the season. We're going to try to. Kind of got the idea a little bit off Bulls Lead on Twitter, a bit of Bulls trivia. And we just wanted to throw a couple of questions out, or a question per episode. You know, drop your answers on Twitter or on YouTube if you're watching in the comments. And the first question is going to be from me, and it is: in 1979, which player did the Bulls miss out on by coin toss? That's in 1979. Which player did the Bulls miss out on in a coin toss? Like I say, answer it on Twitter or in the comments. And there's no prizes. It's just us thinking outside the box a little bit, I guess.
Just a bit of fun.
Trying to improve everybody's knowledge. Yeah, improving everybody's knowledge as well at the same time. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this episode. Like I say, we are just basically trying to round off the off season and move into our next lot of content, which is our sort of predictions, expectations, and stuff like that. So, if you've got anything else before we round it out.
No, I don't think I've got anything to add.
So yeah, thanks for listening. Like I say, answer the question. Don't forget, Andy's Man Club. It's okay to talk. And I've been Matt. You can find me on Twitter at MattCRedUK, and we're on all the socials at CRedUK.
And you can find me on Twitter at NeillCRedUK. On behalf of us both and the Fans First Sport Network, thanks once again to everyone for tuning in. Whether you're watching or listening, please do subscribe, rate and review, and give us a thumbs up on YouTube. From Matt and myself, remember, it's a Chicago Bulls thing wherever you are in the world. Until next time, see red, people.